And welcome to the Dawg Chug, a little discombobulated start to the show. And we got James here, we got Roger, and I haven't started sipping or chugging or doing anything. But Andy, take over, please.
Good job. Trying to change our roles a little bit, with the streaming service, and somehow I got 86th out of the group. So Ed took over, and it all went to shit. Good job, Ed. Roger, how's it going tonight?
Man, it's going good. It's going great. I don't have to work tomorrow, so tonight's a shit show for me. I got four different kinds of beers, and that's what really hammers me. I got 2 Christmas Ale, a Fathead Brewery, and some Edmund. And if somebody pisses me off enough, I'm gonna chug one of the Washington apples. I got, I'm ready to do that.
Well, in the spirit of that, Roger, go fuck yourself. By the way, you look a little closer than usual. What's going on over here? I feel like the camera's not like way back here. It's kind of like in a little tighter.
I'm moving closer because I'm off because I got my another dentist appointment, and then to do my taxes. So it's a painful day all the way around. Dentist appointment and taxes I took off work for. How about that? I'm a piece of work, aren't I? And but I'm moving the camera closer because eventually I'm going to get them Pat Healy teeth from Something About Mary, and I'm going to I'm going to have more selfies than Heather and Yvette put together once I get them new teeth.
See about that.
No.
James, welcome to the Dawg Chug. Usually we bring you on and we, share you with honors, shower you with honors. Oh my God, this show's going off swimmingly. But for you, we just, it wasn't so much a fuck up. We just wanted you on from the beginning. So that's what we did.
Hey, I appreciate it. It feels good to be a starter tonight.
When you get a Class A guest, you put them on from the front. That's what we say.
That's what I thought, Andy. That's why I did what I did.
Good job, Ed.
We had to bounce him around, the elf man. You know how busy the elf man is, so we had to jog things around, and James was accommodating. He's like, hey, am I coming on this Wednesday? I'm like, yeah. I'm like, oh, no, next week. So he bounced things around to be here with us tonight. We appreciate it, and you're showing us all your, your posters behind, all the pictures behind us, man. Those were impressive. Those were nice.
Yeah, it's a lot of work down here in the Cave of Champions with all these posters. Each frame I have down here has a Brown, an Indian, and a Cavalier behind it. Sadly, they have not made enough Guardians posters, not even a Jose Ramirez poster, really? Mass-produced. So, yeah, haven't been able to really add him in there to the collection. So, yeah, right now it's Cavs. This will get changed out come baseball season.
All you got to do is you follow Jose into the bathroom. You just snap a picture of him, you blow it up, put it on your wall. It's going to be awesome.
Not sure I'm going to do that, but that's one way to do it.
Andy, he works for a respectable media outlet, Believe Land Media, and he can't do things. He's taking a chance right now coming on with us as it is.
It's true. All right.
No, that's all right. We get a little bit zany too, so.
Nice. We like zany on the Dawg Chug. We're going to start off by getting extra zany because I think we're going to go to a little bit. Ed, why don't you take it away?
That's right. This is Ed in Columbus with your Dawg Chug. Breakhead news. The Kansas City Chiefs beat the Buffalo Bills in a game with a whopping 60 million people looking on. Who says that people don't tune in to watch the referee? As I fucked that up. Alabama quarterback Jalen Milroe, who the Browns are considering drafting, had his hands measured at only 8 3/4 inches. No starting QB in the league at a hand under 9 inches, but it's the Browns, so small hands for a bust will only be a backup. That measures up. And finally, defensive corner Jim Knowles betrayed the Buckeyes and took the same job at Penn State. Luckily for Judas Jim, the trip to Sad Valley from Columbus doesn't run through Sandusky. And this is Ed in Columbus with your Dawg Chug. Breakhead news.
Nice.
Wow. How does his hand size compare to that Steelers quarterback that they overdrafted?
Oh, Kenny Pickett. Yeah. A little. I think Milrose actually might be a little smaller actually than Pickett's was. So not good. Had a lot of turnovers for Alabama, and now I think we know why. And in the cold weather in Cleveland, I might stay away from him. But, the ties to Tommy Reese and the offensive coordinator, a lot of links being thrown there, but a lot of smokescreen. It's silly season, so we'll see. Hopefully not, but we'll see.
The Steelers are taking him in the first.
That's right. That's right.
All right. Now, let's keep the fun coming, guys. Let's go. I think Roger prepared a top 10.
I do, and we went back old school. Ed was getting overworked, and so we went back old school. I'm going to do the index card thing and everything. So these are the top 10 personal reasons that Deion Sanders does not want his kid to play for the Cleveland Browns. These are the personal reasons, nothing to do with really scheme or anything like that. These are more personal. Here we go. Number 10, while playing for Baltimore, he's pretty sure he nailed a maid in Cleveland and she stole some bling from his hotel room. So, and we're even. I butchered that one up too. Number 9, Deion. Number 9, Deion doesn't want Shador's whip to get damaged by, you guessed it, potholes. That was Ed in Columbus loves the pothole jokes. And Ed, I'm going to tell you right now, in the city of Cleveland, there is now a pothole hotline. And if you call this number and see a pothole, you call it in and you can get that pothole fixed. So Ed, they've been taking action on that.
Thank you.
Here's number 8. Number 8, he's pretty sure that he met one of the Haslam's daughters at a Diddy party. Number 7, he's worried about being portrayed in the movie Draft Day 2 by Morgan Freeman. That Number 6, a drunken Jimmy Haslam once called him Leon Sanders at a Super Bowl after party. Leon.
That's
Number 5, this is a direct quote from Coach Prime. Nick Carnes is fanboying Cam Ward every other day, and that's bull junk. Number 4, some nerd in Cleveland scouting department suggested his kid plays wide receiver. So that didn't go over well with him. Number 3, Mary Kay once gave him a handy and never called him again.
Ooh. Cold.
She's a minx. She's a minx. Number 2, he found out Dee Haslam is a fucking Nazi. And the number 1 personal reason that Primetime does not want his kid playing in Cleveland, because it was 8 minus fucking degrees in Cleveland last week, and Coach Prime already down to 8 toes.
Ooh.
That's tonight's Dawg Chug.
Wow.
I'm Roger
Yikes.
Falls, and you're not.
Wow.
well done, Roger.
Doesn't have
And
the
Ed.
digits.
I showed a couple. I'm not used to the cards. I'm used to doing them on the screen, and it drew me.
Well, I'm sure you'll get back into.
Well, shout out, Andy. Since you don't have controls tonight and you can't see it, but shout out to across the pond to our good friend Mike Pellegrini, who chimes in. And like I said, he popped in from across the pond. Hey, great Cavs win. We agree, Mike. We agree. And he also has a big shout out. I think this is personally to me, so thanks, Mike. But shout out to Will Howard. Go Bucks, absolutely. We're still celebrating in Columbus. So thanks for the comments. Keep them coming.
Nice. All right. Well, this is usually when we bring the guest on. James, you're already on. But why don't you tell us a little bit about Believeland and all the other activities you're up to, your high school work?
Well, as far as what we're getting into now, right now, most of the group is doing high school basketball, covering it all through Northeast Ohio, and won't be long, and we'll be talking tournament time as the regular season wraps up. But we got quite a few guys out there that are doing a lot of work, some late nights during the week, too. I know Kevin Sleds from the owner of Believeland Media. He'll get all the film from each of our reporters, and then puts it together, puts the package out there, the post-game interviews with players and coaches. That way we can help magnify and bring more attention to the kids that are out there fighting just to, one, win basketball games, but two, looking for scholarships, anything they can do to help share themselves on social media. And if it's anything that we recorded on video highlights during the game, anything we can help to do to help the individuals and then also the schools bring attention to them. And we appreciate all the sponsorships that we've accumulated now as we continue to add more sponsorships. And we actually have a meeting with a young lady that's graduating from Kent State study journalism, and she's going to hopefully be starting pretty soon to cover spring when we start baseball, softball coverage, and then also the Rubber Ducks. We're going to cover the Rubber Ducks again this season. So as far as our show goes, the Land Sports Show, kind of been on hiatus. Part of that has been just I've had a few health concerns that trying to manage and work through. And honestly, this is the first show I've been on, I think, since I was on with one of our guys, Brandon Lewis, and we were talking Browns-Eagles matchup. And one of the comments I made, and I feel pretty, I know, the dust is flying off me right now. But we were talking Eagles, and I thought that the Saquon Barkley edition was a really good one. And I think I mentioned in our conversation he should be up there for maybe an MVP consideration, and that really held true. And I felt pretty good about that because that's somebody. If you guys go back to the draft with Mayfield, remember we could have taken Barkley 1,
Right.
Yeah.
and then we could have, and then at 4 we could have taken our quarterback. And it was something I remember thinking in my head that it sounds crazy because running backs valued number 1 overall sounds ridiculous, but seems the way the Ravens run the football now and the way the Eagles have ran the football. As much as we talk quarterback guys, we have to get back to running the football. And right now the
big comeback. Yeah.
What's that?
I'm sorry, running backs made a big comeback. They were considered worthless and weren't getting paid, and now they're a hot commodity.
Yeah, and if we don't get something in the draft, my best recommendation would probably to see, instead of Andy parking in the Muni lot with Cyberdog, I really believe they should just line you up in the backfield. You put your driver's window down and maybe do toss sweep right the whole game. And then right there's our running game. That's probably the best chance we had compared to what we saw last season. So that might be something you want to consider.
In that truck against the Steelers, you line me up, I will run those motherfuckers over.
That's right.
Wow. Well, James, you talked about obviously Lead Media and you covering high school basketball. What are some of the top programs around Northeast Ohio right now, and any kids to watch for? Maybe going to Ohio State or anything like that. Like right now, give me your top 3 right now.
That I'm not sure. The only one I really want to talk about that I'm really proud of is my alma mater, Louisville Leopards. They've been playing once again another great season. We used to be more a football school, and the football program's taken a little bit of a step back. They've had a coaching change last 2 years ago, and some slight improvement. But the basketball team, I'm just really impressed. The way they've been able to compete against some of the higher level schools, not just in Ohio, but around the country when they've traveled to some different tournaments. And when I was in school, we had a good squad. We had a good senior class that I was a part of. But these kids now, what they're doing athletically and the dunks in game and all that wasn't our cup of tea of the 90s, man. So. But no, I'm really proud of Louisville Leopards, Louisville High School, and the program that they've been able to build and continue now for a few years to be competitive in the state of Ohio, and who knows, maybe a state championship this year.
Oh wow, that good. I mean, you're talking about coming up from your days, but I mean, state championship. I mean, that's quite a.
Hey,
they're that good.
Dream big.
Okay.
Why not?
Okay.
Love it. Love it. Let's get right to this. Bits of chug. Let's go.
All right. Well, this is the staple of the Dawg Chug. It is a game with so much acclaim. Andy gets mad, but I did give it its name. That's right. I will say a statement. It is a statement. It is not a question. If you heavily agree with that statement, you will take a nice, healthy chug. If you disagree with that statement, you will spit on the floor like Andy does, and he makes his wife clean it up. It's really sad. Or if you're like Roger and you want to sip, but I think I'm calling it out tonight because Roger made it apparent he does not have work tomorrow. Roger, you cannot sip tonight. No sipping for Roger. No sipping for Roger.
No sipping, Roger.
So
it's only 15 after 10, and we're already doing specific chug.
We got so much
hammered by this point.
Yeah,
well, that's the plan. So we will start with our guest as we usually do. And that statement, James, being Kevin Stefanski will pick his next quarterback.
I will chug that one because I think it's long overdue. Outside of, say, DTR, who has he been a part of as far as picking to join this roster? I know there's a debate talking about whether or not who really wanted Deshaun, right? And what's recently came out from what I've heard, I don't know what you guys have heard, but it's been Andrew that trade. I think Stefanski, just from his press conference with Tommy Reese, I hope we get it that edgier Stefanski this year. I want him to be that he actually gets quarterback, whether it's in the draft or free agency.
All right. You were breaking up a little bit there, but I think we caught the gist.
Yeah, edge rusher, Penn State. Yep.
I saw it buffering too, yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, it was a good answer.
And I am hardwired in too.
We got the gist of it. I'm going to chug as well with James. Basically, I do think it's about time. Kevin Stefanski, obviously, when you survive a 3-14 season, obviously, either you get more power or they strip everything and basically on your last leg. I don't think that's the case with Kevin Stefanski. Him a 4-year deal, obviously, before last year. So if you're going to make a move, but I think Kevin Stefanski has a lot of trust in the building, and I think it's about time that he gets the keys to the car and he gets to drive and go the destination with his driver that he wants to go with. And I do think that he'll have the most input. Now, I don't think it's going to be 100%. I do think that him and Barry, it's a collaborative thing. They like to talk about that cohesion they have in the building, and sometimes that makes us crazy as Browns fans because we see some of those parts that are part of that cohesion, and we think, I wish they weren't part of it. Maybe the deep Podestas, maybe even Andrew Barry. We kind of hope that Kevin Stefanski's the one just driving the bus all by himself and picking that decision. But I do think it will be him because, like I said, I think he's earned the most, being two-time coach of the year. And I know people say, oh, whatever. But no, obviously he's got respect. He hasn't lost the locker room, even at 3-14. Those players are playing hard. And so I do think he will. That's why I'm chugging. Roger.
I guess I have to chug.
Yeah.
I don't think they have I think that was like the last not ultimatum, but like, hey, before you fire me, at least give me one shot at picking my own quarterback. I don't know, man. Jimmy Haslam listened to a homeless guy, listen to Andrew Barry. Why not give Kevin Stefanski a shot at it? It's not like he's going to do any worse. So, yeah, I think I think that he has that leeway to develop the plan how they're going to proceed at the quarterback position. Oh.
Nice. Andy.
All right. Well, if we make it a clean sweep, as everyone knows, we all have to chug.
That's right. Yeah.
And Kevin is very respected in that building. And, if he is going to get to pick his quarterback, as long as the quarterback he wants is the same one that everyone else wants, because they don't do things in that building. Sparks, especially with draft picks. Andrew Barry and Haslam are way too involved. So if Kevin doesn't want someone and they don't agree with that, it's not happening. It's that simple, in my opinion. I do think Kevin will get a lot of power in bringing in, a free agent. He'll probably have a larger voice than that. But as far as draft pick, no way. I'm spitting on this one.
Damn it! I wanted to chug, Andy. Damn it!
Go ahead and chug.
Okay. Well, wow. Okay. I think you make some great points there, Andy. That's why it's unfortunate, but we'll find out come draft season. But before we get to the second statement, I want to say thank you to all the people that are commenting. Force of nature. Nice. Yes, Dawg Chug is a lifestyle. Yes, we like to live it. And Andy's the most hardcore. He's got a Dawg Chug tattoo, but we can't tell you where it's at because it's only his wife knows. Also, too, the Haslam's pulls the strings. Well, maybe they do, maybe they don't. Obviously, they're the ones that sign the checks, but I do think Kevin will get the opportunity Well, maybe Andy says not, so we shall find out. And that's a question for you, Andy, since you're a season ticket holder. Do you expect the season ticket prices to go up next year?
Yes.
Jeez, all right.
Yes, because as soon as they move into that new place, they're going to go up insane. So they need to start going up so it doesn't seem as
you're the expert, Andy.
Like 3x. Yeah, they're going up.
Okay, and
maybe because we went 3-14, they'll give us like one little mercy break and then increase it by double next year. But I think they'll go up.
They'll just give you a more expensive, cheaper hat or something like that in their package that they send out to the season ticket.
Right.
Jeez.
Yeah. And Andy, also this one's for Andy. Can you confirm? Is that where your Dawg Chug tattoo is?
I can't tell. So
okay, fair enough. Yeah, right. Well, that's why we love you. And oh, geez. Okay. Thank you, Force of Nature, for your comments. We move on to the second statement, and we'll go around the other way today. We'll go with Andy. And the statement being Chiefs, Eagles, Super Bowl sucks.
I mean, we're all going to drink, so we should all just chug this one. Seems pretty easy to me. Yes, this absolutely sucks. Everyone, I think, in America outside of Missouri was rooting for the Bills. It was a great game, and I enjoyed it, but you just want someone to knock them off. I don't care that I hate the Eagles. I'm going to be rooting for the Eagles so hard because I want Kansas City to go down, and the Browns aren't in a position to do it. So whoever is, that's who I'm rooting for. But yeah, I'm not super excited about this Super Bowl. I was much more excited to watch Kansas City and the Bills play. So I am chugging on that one. Roger.
Oh, I'm shocked. Oh, which way you going?
I went the other way. I tripped it up on you. So Roger, you're up.
Oh, okay. Yeah, man. I'm chugging.
Okay.
I want to see Taylor Swift and Cleese cry.
Mm.
I want to see him cry and be sad. I want to see Mahomes and his wife be sad. Do you know what the best part about it is? That like, if it was anybody else in the NFC, if it was the Rams with old Matt Stafford, you see what happened when he got down. He had one last drive and he couldn't do it. Or I think the lights would have been too bright for both Washington or the Lions. Playing in the Super Bowl against Kansas City. So the only bright spot is, like Andy said, the Eagles are professionals. They're grown men. It's going to be a game. I think the lights have been too bright for any other NFC team. So I like the Eagles in this one. I think they're going to win. I do. So that's the only saving grace. But yeah, it sucks. I'm chugging.
Well, I think Andy's going to be correct. I'm going to chug as well. Obviously, it's a Super Bowl. Obviously, people are going to drink. They're going to get their pizza, their wings. So it's still going to be a celebration that America loves, and we're addicted to the National Football League. That's all great. But I will echo the sentiments of Roger and I think Andy when it comes to the Eagles. Don't particularly like them, but want them to win. And the coach of the national champion Ohio State Buckeyes was on Jimmy Fallon. He was on Kelly Clarkson, and he said the Eagles. So Eagles. I hope I spelled that right. Go Eagles. James.
I'm going to sip on this one.
Ooh, yes.
Only because I think the hype sucks because of the matchup. It's one that we saw a couple years ago. But the opportunity to see a three-peat in the Super Bowl, to see Kareem Hunt potentially get a Super Bowl ring.
Yeah.
But then on the other hand, with the Eagles, Nick Sirianni being a Mount Union guy, I loved him talking shit to the Eagles fans this year, and just kind of being that, little bit aggressive between the fans or the media. I like that. I like that extra spunk in a coach, and I think his players have fed off that. So I really believe with, Barkley, like we talked about, a running back, potentially the Eagles winning and a running back winning the Super Bowl MVP. Some of that stuff's appealing. So that's why I'm kind of sipping. I said the hype sucks. I don't think anybody's really super excited about it outside of the two fan bases and where they're from, but there's an opportunity for a really good football game there.
Nice. All right.
I agree.
James.
I agree with that one. And we can't all. Go ahead, Roger.
No, I just said James come deliver it.
I know, but he
like a
didn't
Domino's
deliver
guy.
us a chug because he sipped on it. And you know what, Andy?
Yeah, that's why I'm like,
I'm going to chug again just because I want to chug.
Ed, you're chugging Mountain Dew, Ed.
I know. Well, I only hit this is my second one today. I'm kind of behind.
He's not driving. It's okay.
I'm not driving. Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you.
You're not driving? All right, then. All right, then.
Gosh, what are you, a communist, Roger? We're going to start with you on the third statement too, Roger, just for that. That's your punishment here.
Okay.
All right.
All right.
Cavs desperately need to acquire a bigger wing at the trade deadline.
Oh, man. Well, I'm not allowed to sip, so let me ask you, do we have a wing on the roster right now that could go 7 games with Jason Tatum?
No.
No, so I'm chugging. I heard on the radio a guy said, asked a Boston writer, are the Cavs, is Boston the only thing in the way of the Cavaliers winning getting to the NBA, finals? And the Boston guy said, no, the Cavs are the only thing in the way of Boston getting right. And that was a Boston writer. And but yeah, do we have a guy that can play 7 games that's gonna run up and down the floor with Tatum for a 7-game series? We don't have that guy. And that's the only thing we're missing. See, I pay attention when sometimes.
Damn. I wasn't expecting that, Andy. I wasn't expecting that. Oh my God.
You weren't expecting a good take, were you?
You're awake, you're coherent, and you're making a lot of sense tonight. I'm chugging on Roger. I fucked the statement. I'm chugging on Roger tonight for that. And whatever you said, Roger, I echo those sentiments. I do think they need. I think the Oklahoma City game when we got murdered by them in Oklahoma City, I think that proves kind of it because one of those games that we barely won at home. I mean, they didn't even have Chet Holmgren, and I think in the NBA, especially when you're going to play in a 7-game series, size doesn't hurt in basketball. Like it's just never hurts, especially if that size is athletic,
right,
and can guard, and I don't know, do the things to stop Jason Tatum from going for 40. So, Roger, thank you for that. I will try to be a better dog chugger because of your last answer to that statement. Thank you, Roger.
Thank you.
James.
Thank you. I pay attention. People think I'm just the looks on this show.
So they desperately do need to acquire a bigger wing. So I'm going to chug on that.
Wow.
Because can you imagine right now, as we speak, that any starting lineup that has either Dean Wade, Max Strus, or Okoro at that 3 spot, when it comes to matching up in a 7-game series with Boston, which is pretty much picking up where you guys left off. Yeah. I see that's a huge void. The only way to overcome that is to make an Evan Mobley have an incredible series and Garland and Mitchell do their thing as well. That's a big ask. That's a big if. A lot of people were drinking the January juice of the regular season prior to us going 3-3. And All-Star break's coming. Lots of distractions on the team, so they're a little bit of a setback. But I just keep looking at those matchups in the East, and then I don't know with the Bucks and Giannis, him being in that 3 to 4 spot could cause a problem too. So I have my concerns, yes, for sure. Without a doubt, we need a wing. I don't know who it is. I don't know how you acquire him based on everything I've listened to from Windhurst, as far as how difficult it's going to be to bring somebody in. Amani Bates kind of has the size, but he's just not ready yet. I mean, he's getting scrub minutes and playing charge games, so he's not a guy that can fill that spot anytime soon as a starter.
Andy, you going to make us chug?
Well, listen, I don't want the Cavs to desperately do anything. The Cavs have in my opinion, 3 to 5 year window. Things are looking great. I don't want to make stupid moves in the short term that kind of disrupt this window. They've got a great depth. They've got incredible players. Not any team in the NBA or any sports team is ever going to be perfect. There's always going to be warts, holes, whatever. And that's what coaching has to figure out. And, our size should be able to, make some matchup problems for the Celtics too. So we just need to, find the best group of guys that can go out there and get the job done. So, when I hear the word desperate, I feel like you're trading something valuable to get a short-term asset. And I don't want to do that for these Cavs. See where everything lands. And then if you have to make a move next year, you have the ability to do that, I believe. So I'm going to spit. I don't want the Cavs to do anything desperate. Just keep supporting what they've built. And, if obviously something falls in your lap, go through with it. But the desperate word is where I'm spitting on.
Nitpicking.
Damn. All right. Well, that ends that statement. But hey, shout out to Force of Nature. I love this statement. Mozgov forever. I remember James, remember the 28-point game that Mozgov had against Golden State? I think it was meaningless or whatever, but he put up like a 28-point game, and it's just like, God, that guy, we got him, and he was, a sensation. And he was obviously in that commercial or whatever that he got all that flack for with that lady with the, rack on her. But you know what I'm saying? But that's what that was Mozgov's time in Cleveland. But man, he I'm telling you, that guy could shoot. And I never understood why his career wasn't as long as what it could have been. But I don't know. He was fun, and thanks for that comment, Force of Nature, on that one.
Yeah, I do not remember that game, but it sounds like I should. That was a trade where it was a fit. Was it? And he played above the level that he was playing from where he came from. That's the only thing you really want when you're looking to make these trades at the deadline. As you're pulling when J.R. Smith and Shumpert came from the Knicks, it was a pile of crap. Bring them to a winning team, potential for the NBA Finals, and we all know how those story played out. But yeah, I'm hearing you, Andy, as far as the desperate move. But man, if we go down 3-1 in one of these in a series, whether it be the East Finals or wherever, we're going to be, I think, maybe looking back that it's just going to be a matchup problem. And I think with the chemistry and the way these guys are so together and play well together and on and off the court as far as their relationship goes, I think any kind of in-season trade this year would probably hurt the chemistry of the team. I think if anything's coming, like you're saying, Andy, it probably would be in the off season. And I think the start would probably be Jared Allen.
Oh, jeez.
Makes sense.
I like Allen. I think he's obviously.
I do too.
It's just, I think he's the glue that makes everything that go together. But I don't know. People different, and then obviously you hear on the radio shows and everything they call him in. He's always one of the first names, and I just don't get it. Maybe I'm in Columbus, and I don't know. We win a lot in Columbus and in Cleveland. I don't know. But Jared Allen is somebody I wouldn't move. But whatever. Oh, Andy's going to yell at me. I'm mentioning Columbus again. But that's why we'll go to statement number 4, because we have an extra special one, a 5th one today, because Andy put in. So we'll go to statement number 4, and we'll begin with me on this one. I'm excited for Guardians baseball in 2025. I am spitting. And only because pitchers and catchers haven't reported. Look, obviously, the Guardians off seasons are anticlimactic. Basically, I wonder if the Dolans are alive. I think we have a great front office, and it's miracles what they do every year to put us in a competitive standpoint, especially with the limitations of payroll. But I mean, if anybody's excited for the Guardians, I don't know. I think you're just. Maybe you look at last year and you see what they did, but I don't know if that translates. 2 years ago and whatever, we had 92 wins and we fell back the next year. Now this year we came up and we won 90 games again and we got to the ALCS. I get that, but it's hard to be sustainable when you don't put money into your product. And you're getting the fan support, which makes me very upset because, Cleveland for the longest time, nobody shows up for the games. Well, here's an idea, Major League Baseball. April games in Cleveland, not exactly the place to be. It's cold, but come June, July, August, Cleveland represents. So I don't know, maybe if there's a way to fix the schedule that way, but then the competitive disadvantage and people bitching. So I don't know. The fans in Cleveland are doing their thing. The Dolans are not doing their thing. And another thing, don't we have a minority owner, this David Blitzer guy that bought some of the, when is his money ever going to infiltrate the team and everything? I'm kind of getting sick of it. The Ohio State Buckeyes spend more money than the Cleveland Guardians. Oh yeah, by the way, when you spend money, you win. So maybe that's something you should look into. So I spit on that one. And but you know what? Come opening day, I'm chugging. Go Guards, James.
I'm going to chug on that.
Of course you are. I knew you're a big Guardians fan. I know.
Because it's baseball.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, for us, it's, you know, when spring training hits, it's just that it's back. And we all know that the good weather's right around the corner. Yeah, I hear you. April might not be the month, but it's still right around the corner. It's just a more rewarding, like, you know, Roger and I have talked about the baseball's romantic. There's so many things about the game that make it interesting. And we have one of the winningest baseball teams in Major League Baseball based on even we're not spending money. Hell, the Browns hasn't spent money. Hasn't helped us for shit at the quarterback position. You know, the Guardians, I trust that front office. I trust the coaching staff. They have something that the Browns wish they had. And I look forward to that. And it's a long season. You know, baseball's just enjoyable. You can lose one night. The next night, your pitcher goes 9 innings and throws a shutout win, maybe against their ace pitcher. But yeah, the Guardians, that's the team that we should be looking at. And I know the Cavs are hot right now, but I still trust, of all the franchises, it's the Guardians franchise, and it should be the front office to reward us with wins and a good time and a long, nice summer and a summer shandy and a hot dog at the park with some Bertman's mustard on it. And you know, there's just so much more about baseball that I personally enjoy. Football can just, and I know all the tailgating goes on in the Muni lot, and you can still have a good day, and then all of a sudden you get to the game, and the game's a stinker. But you know what? You had a good time with the Browns fan base, and so many people that commit. You know, Andy, I know you commit a lot of time up there, a lot of money to the Browns organization, but you know, I'm sure you've met a lot of good people up there. Probably not. There's probably a few that are off, but long story short, Guardians baseball. I'm always going to be excited for that.
Yes. Before we go to you, Andy, I did not see this To Catch a Predator. I didn't know.
I hate Slider.
I didn't know
Hate Slider. Trade Slider.
Okay, that's fair enough. Also, 2 blue seats. Also, enjoy the blue seats. All the
Yes.
blue seats next year. Andy,
you did say that, you know, you criticized Ed that the Dolans don't spend, and when you spend, you get winners. But come on, the Browns had the highest payroll or whatever last year. I think
you got to have a quarterback. That's the difference.
Highest over the cap, but they paid a way more than any other team, and they
got to have a quarterback.
They were terrible this year. So it's not about how much you spend, it's about the product. And I think the Guardians do a great job of consistently delivering. And that's why the fans, I think, support it. Yes, it would be awesome if they brought in these free agents. And to be fair, when we've paid for players, has any of them really worked out that well?
No.
The big names have not. So maybe it's time to trust what they're doing and, you know, let them get close to knocking on the window, and then it's time to go bring in the piece that solves the puzzle, or at least I think that's a formula that I believe in. But regardless of all of that, it's the fucking Guardians. It means that it's springtime and we get to watch a game every single day. And I don't know about you, but I love the end of a Cavs game. But if the Cavs game's on in the second quarter, I'll watch, but I don't get like emotionally invested in it. But good Lord, you put on a half inning of baseball, or you're at a bar and you just start watching, you just get glued to the screen. There's just something about that game. I love it. I'm so excited. It's about to be Guardian season. It's around the corner. And I don't care if this team was coming off like a 65 win season. I would still be just as geeked as I am. And to be fair, I do agree it might be a little bit of a setback this year. What they did was pretty astounding last season. But even if that's the case, I can't wait. I'll thoroughly enjoy it. And yeah, I'm chugging.
Go Tribe. Roger. Here's Slider.
Slider.
There's Slider.
Oh God.
Slider in the house. No baseball. Screw baseball. I don't care if baseball's coming.
What?
Man, I'll tell you what.
He's drunk.
I am so excited. I got the one.
Who is this guy?
Out, and I'm ready to.
He's going to chug a Washington apple.
Yes.
And by the way, before you chug that, can you confirm that Slider is a Nazi?
Slider is a Nazi?
I heard that.
He just confirmed it.
Jeez.
I heard Slider and Elon were hanging out the other day.
Ooh.
Oh, well, that was bad.
I think you wore part of that one.
He's only got 7 more, I think, Andy, to make up those bets, I think.
I filled most of that one.
Yeah, I was just going to say you need a lobster bib or something. Damn.
You got to move that camera way back because you've probably been spilling for years and we just never noticed.
Probably right. Usually his camera's in punt formation.
He's in Jabril Peppers.
Yeah. Exactly.
Roger, expound on your chugging.
Oh, but you know what? Man, those are horrible. We didn't lose to the Yankees because we didn't have a right fielder that hit 30 home runs. We lost because we ran out of pitching. By the end of April, May, McKenzie was gone. Bieber was gone. I mean, we had patchwork pitchers that took us into, August. Our bullpen carried us through the year. They gave Shane Bieber money. Ed, when they're going to spend money at the trade deadline if they're ready to, if they're in it. You know what I mean? If they're leading the Central Division, that's what they're going to spend the money on. I'm not worried about. They need to figure out what they're going to do at second base until Bazzana's ready. And you have Gabriel Arias, who was hitting in fall ball, he had 300, winter ball, and if he plays the way he did in fall and winter, in spring, he's going to be your second baseman. I think they're still climbing up. I think the reason they didn't go out and spend is because they're really not at the peak of where they're going to be with this core, which is 26 and 27. They're ahead of schedule. I think they will spend, and I think it'll be at the trade deadline is when you're going to see them spend some money to fill a hole or two. If everything goes to plan, there'll be a hole or two maybe to fill, and that's when they'll spend, like they did for Miller back in 16. So I'm chugging. What were you laughing? What did somebody say?
Oh, they were calling Slider DEI hire with Elon. I don't,
Slider's been around forever.
I want to point something out because you just did it now. Andy did it earlier. Is this just this Cleveland mentality that you guys are always punting on? Andy, when you talk about the Cavs and not making a move at the trade deadline because you think, next year and in the couple years, and which I think the Guardians and the Cavs are in the same boat, good young teams with windows. But why isn't it that, I don't know, when you have a chance to win a championship, I don't know, the year that you're currently in, why don't you just go for it? You don't have to gut the team to do it, but maybe tinker a little bit. I feel like Cleveland's so hesitant, the fans are at least, to just go all in like normal fan bases do. It just kind of shocks me.
Ed, just because the Buckeyes were legitimately allowed to tell everybody they spent a lot of money to buy a championship in 10 years, doesn't mean everybody does that. Because it's going to be another 10 years.
We're not going to lose 5 games next year, unlike you guys. We don't whatever you guys did, 5 games. We're going to make the playoffs next year, even with a rebuild, Roger. So
everybody's going to make the playoffs next year, Ed.
Not Michigan.
12, 16 teams. Michigan's going to win the big.
But Ed,
the sanctions coming down.
All right. So if there's a premier, big wing out there, what do the Cavs have to give up?
Karis LeVert is a free agent at the end of the year. You could package Karis LeVert and maybe a first rounder or something that who cares down the road.
I don't think we have any. We don't really have
Cam
any.
Johnson. You need Cam, whatever, the guy from Brooklyn.
So the Cavs first round pick is basically a second round pick. It's not valuable at all, and you have to guarantee pay that player. So picking and Getting a 28th pick is not valuable to a team at all.
Maybe Brooklyn would do it because they're
I don't think we're going to have to give up too much. We're going to lose something from over here to fill something over there.
You're going to lose Karis LeVert next year anyways. He's a free agent. We're probably not going to re-sign him. Let's be real.
Yeah, but I don't think Karis LeVert on his own is going to get you.
No, I know. I agree. You're going to have to do something creative that way. Here's the thing. I heard this too. Ben Simmons or Lonzo Ball might be buyout options that we could get. They're bigger wings and players. So there might be some options out there. Maybe Cam Johnson's a little bit shooting too high, but I do believe bringing in somebody bigger for the wing because there's some matchups like James was talking about. We're down 3-1. I mean, it's over then if that's the case. It'll be like Orlando did to us in 2009 when we won 66 games and should have went to the finals and beat Kobe and the Lakers, but we lost because we were undersized to them. And I don't want that to happen again this year where we got a great team in the regular season, but we're just undersized come a 7-game playoff. And I feel like that's what we could run into with this team. And I don't want that to happen because, Andy, I want to enjoy the journey, but I also want to enjoy the end. Like the Buckeyes.
So it sounds like you were really excited when the Browns were, building a young, talented core. Maybe they had a quarterback and then they went and traded for Odell Beckham because they had to make the big move and that didn't work. And then they got rid of Baker and brought in Deshaun Watson because we needed a quarterback. I don't know that it's always the right way to go. And obviously it works out sometimes, but with the Cavs, I think the chemistry is so good there. I don't want anything disrupting it. So if a move has to be made, I think you make it in the offseason. That's what I would prefer to make. If you want to make a minor trade, fine.
I just want to win it this year. Like I don't want to wait.
I want to win. I just don't want to sit here and say, let's get rid of Jared Allen right now so that we can get.
Oh, I don't either. No. I'm not giving any core pieces. I'm not doing that.
Well, you asked. That's
fair. No, that's fair. That's why we talk on the Dawg Chug. That's why we talk.
There's two types of sports fans, man. There's a sports fan that before the season even starts, leading up to it, that all they're focused on is winning the championship. What are we going to do instead of the actual process to get you to a championship, especially with baseball? There's no way you can sit here on January 29th and think about winning the fucking World Series, man. There's absolutely no way. Do you know what happens? The team that took the field in 2016 for the Cleveland Indians, there were 5 different people that were on. You know what I mean? It's just, man, enjoy the ride, man. Enjoy the ride. Worry about the championship in June, Ed. Enjoy the ride and the process.
I'm just so used to winning in Columbus right now. I'm on this winning spree
you guys
right
won
now.
one in the last decade. Every decade you win something, and you think, for God, you think you won something every week. It's been a decade.
Stop. But that's the Cleveland thing.
For God's sake, Jack.
Yes. I agree with you, Ed.
The Chooch bench presses 80 pounds since the last time.
That's more than I can bench.
Yeah, he was born.
I think as Cleveland fans, we're programmed to be patient.
Yes, James.
For sure.
Oh, preach, James.
That's what I think we are. We're programmed to just trust the process through, and we just keep waiting and keep waiting.
Now,
you don't have to trust it. I'm not saying you don't trust. I don't trust the Browns process. You don't have to trust it, but go through it. You know what I mean? And enjoy the ride of the sport instead of focusing on
one title in 50 some years. That's
man.
I can agree with you both. I can agree with you both partially, where we should enjoy the ride. We should enjoy the fact that we have professional franchises in our city. 3 of them, right? I mean, if you want to count 4 with the Monsters actually put a hell of a show on when you go to a game. Their game, they made the playoffs last year, almost came back from an 0-3 deficit against Hershey.
Hershey Bears.
Yeah, last year. No, but my point is, if we have to, we're looking at it as Cleveland fans, but if you have to look. And like, if anybody's outside of our fan base looking in that are in cities that are used to championship mentality, it is all about now. Like, we get shitty with the Yankee fans because they're always just pounding those players, and the media doing the same thing to the players because it's all about win the World Series. Like, it's a great expectation though to have. Don't you already have that down in Columbus, Ed, every year? Yes. For Ohio State football?
It's lovely too. I love it.
It's a great bar to have.
And it would be a great
It's a
part of having Cleveland.
disappointment.
But we got to prove that we can win a championship first. Well,
I know. I think that's the thing. I think Andy, you make a great point because I think it's the mentality of the fans. Because when you do win one championship in 50 some years, and you do trust the process, and you look at the teams like the Guardians and the Cats. Yes, they're young players. They got a lot of young, good talent, and you don't want to just blow that up. But at the same time, to James's point, like if this is Philadelphia, like okay, I look at the Cavs. I'm going to win it this year. I'm going. If I'm Boston, I'm going to go get a piece and win it this year instead of worrying about the window. But I think that also comes down to in Cleveland, we have to worry about the monetary and stuff. When Boston and these other big cities that you're talking about, they just spend. We don't have that luxury in Cleveland. I think that's the biggest difference.
Even with basketball, don't our owners spend? I mean,
I know that's right. Well, yeah. I don't know.
There's restrictions in NBA when you talk luxury tax, and
damn it, the Monsters lead the AHL in attendance. Let's all celebrate the Monsters.
And that's because they have, I think, the biggest arena as well. But there are a lot of puckheads in Cleveland.
We should do Nessie Chug.
Oh, and this goes back to the Browns, 1989, and it was before Pornhub. Absolutely. Thank you for that, force of nature. Thank you. But we do have
the only comment you didn't post of force of nature was when he stated Andy is correct.
I put that up there for another.
Just did it for a quick.
No,
second.
we will roll the tape. I had that one up for at least 30 seconds. We'll roll the tape.
That graphic right there could be the next tattoo.
Oh, there it is, right there. Yeah. Andy, you were correct. I forget about what now, but hey, thanks, Force of Nature, for that. We have a fifth statement, though. Andy decided that he was gonna put his intuition and his hard work into this show today. We had James on. We have a great show. I think it's been a fun show. That's why we have a fifth statement tonight. And Andy, we're going to start with you, Andy, because you're going to set this up. We'll go to James next after this, but in that statement being. And I did it wrong this time, too. I got to hide that and do that. If Miles was willing to sign, Brown should make Garrett the highest paid non-QB player in the NFL. What do you think, Andy?
Well, first of all, I'm not all about, giving 29-year-old players the biggest contract, non-quarterback contract. I think Miles is clearly has a little bit of prime years left, but I think if you give him 5 years, you're probably going to see a little bit of the production going downhill. However, I'm not going to look at it through that eyes. He is the best player on the Cleveland Browns. And if he was willing to commit to us, we have to make that happen. We have to prove that we're not rebuilding. I think we need to send that message to the locker room, to the fans, to everyone. If he was willing to take that deal, he's the best player at a premium position in the league, in my opinion. If they called holding calls correctly on him, it's scary to imagine what his numbers could be. But I'm definitely going to give him the money. The Browns pay more than any other team, so they're ready to pony up to bring in Myles Garrett. And we don't have a quarterback. If we get a quarterback and we have Myles Garrett, then I think look out. So give the guy the money and then do whatever it takes. That's the team that should make the desperate move, go find a quarterback. So I'm chugging. James.
I'm going to sip on that. Even though the guy deserves for being a Cleveland Brown as long as he has hazardous duty pay, considering what he's played next to for many years. Honestly, he deserves it. But also, if you want to reward him, why don't you give him Abdul Carter on the other side of the defensive line? That might be a little more than money. He can make his money back with being part owner of the Cavaliers. So I don't think his bank account's going to be hurting. Maybe it's about the talent around him more so than just the contract itself. The extension, yes, 100%. Does he need to be the highest paid non-quarterback? Let's see how the market plays out. That's where I'm at. I think he deserves it. If he gets it, great. I'm happy for him. He's a Hall of Fame player. He's been the best player. He's been basically the face of our franchise for how long now? So he deserves it, yes. But if he doesn't get it, I won't be disappointed. At this, 100% agree with Andy. based on his age and his where he's at in his career. But yeah, I give him that extension, but let's see how much we decide to give him. I say Abdul Carter's his that's his reward.
Nice.
Love it.
I'm chugging and my mouth is dry. But before, I'm going to mention Abdul Carter and why I'm afraid of Abdul Carter. Because a guy named the Quiet Storm, Courtney Brown, Penn State player.
No, don't do that. No.
Sorry, I'm not. I can't. I lived Courtney Brown when he played. Remember that Bears game when he had the Steelers game, the first home game that they won in 2000. I was there with my father, and he had 3 sacks. When Courtney Brown was on the field, he was a menace. And the problem was he had that microfracture, but he was so Abdul Carter. I don't know. But going back to the actual statement, I'm chugging on Myles Garrett because. Yes, if you gave him a 5-year deal, I think the production, but I think he's got 3 to 4 good years left. He should have been Defensive Player of the Year this year. He's only honestly, I think he's only getting better. And obviously, some players as they get older, obviously they're going to lose their speed. They're going to lose this. He gets held anyways. So I think from a technical standpoint, maybe if he slows down, maybe he actually gets more sacks that way. Sometimes he actually overruns the play because he's just so damn good. So I don't know. I think 3 to 4 years, I don't think we're going to see too much of a decline from him. Maybe 5 to 6 you would, but obviously a deal, you want to give him a 6-year deal anyway. So yeah, why not make him the highest paid player? Celebrate something in Cleveland that you can actually be proud of. I mean, Myles Garrett is the face of the franchise because, he beats the Steelers. Literally, and he's a great player, probably the best player. So yeah, you got to give him the highest pay because it's all about statue. It's all about the perception, and you pay him. It just makes Cleveland look better as a city and as a franchise because if you're not going to win that many games anyways, as Force of Nature says, he wants to trade him because he says we ain't going to win, a lot of games, and he might be right until we get that quarterback, but I don't think it's Myles Garrett's fault. He plays on the defensive side, and he should be rewarded for that. Roger.
Nice job.
A lot of lucid answers, Ed.
You
You know what? Myles Garrett went to the fans and said, I want to know what they're going to do to win. I want to know what the plan is moving forward. And his agent was going to Jimmy Haslam and Andrew Berry and saying, Myles wants to be the highest player, non-quarterback player in the NFL, or we're leaving, And all of a sudden, Myles changed his tune. It was all about money, and that's what it is. It's a business for them. Myles Garrett is more concerned with his post-NFL career, I think, than his actual playing career. You know what I mean? The guy's got a lot of different interests. I think he wants to get paid. I think that's more important to any of them today than winning. I really believe that. It's a business, and they're in it for the money. I think winning comes second to them. So I guess what am I doing on that?
I think you're spitting.
I would just chug anyways.
Yeah, I think
to be honest with you.
Anyway,
You're off tomorrow.
Yeah. And that will conclude a great, long, extended version. Thanks, Andy, for that 5th one. Spit, Sip, Chug, one of our best ones ever, I believe.
Nice. Good job, Ed. Thank you. All right. Well, that was a lot of fun. We had a lot of good commentary. I wanted to ask you, James, there's a lot of people that seem to be chirping kind of coming from the team or whatever, or at least that's my perception, that the Browns are going to go after Daniel Jones. What do you think about that?
Stefanski being on the hot seat. I mean, veteran quarterback is the answer, I think. We keep talking Kirk Cousins, but I just don't know. The only thing I'm sure of is I see vet quarterback. I don't know who that is, though. All I know is that the quarterback room has to be cleaned out. And the biggest thing that we don't talk about, I think, as Browns fans, that we look more at the position rather than the actual value of the possession of the football, because we turn the ball over at such an extreme rate between interceptions. I don't know about where our fumbles are, but interceptions, that's the one thing the biggest flaw I see out of Stefanski's offenses has been valuing the football. The turnovers have to change. as much as we love Joe Flacco, we saw how the turnovers started to come here and there. Well, even when he was there, I mean, the 2 pick sixes in Houston for the wild card game, unfortunate. And you can see, and then just even watching the playoffs this year, Lamar Jackson and the Ravens turning the ball over. You can have a great quarterback. There's a lot of great quarterbacks that were in the playoffs this year that are now sitting at home because of not valuing the football throughout the playoffs. Not that they don't care and they don't want to keep the possession. It's just it didn't happen. So we can get a great quarterback, but the discipline, the accountability that needs to happen for our offense is ultra important no matter who fills this roster out. That has to change. Look at the Steelers, their turnover ratio. It's super important. So I'm really looking at the fact that how can we turn it around? Vet quarterback that values the football next year in an offense that's going to go back to Stefanski's play action. You and Cyberdog being our running game potentially, Andy, if we don't get a running back in the draft. But that's to me, that's the difference. They always say the turnover is the ultimate equalizer. So
James is advocating for vehicular homicide.
Yeah, I mean, if it means, hey, we need some rushing touchdowns and we need to beat the spread, then yeah, so be it.
All right, I like that dedication. And usually one is going to be charged, but it's unfortunate.
You want a Michigan I want Danny Dimes and I want Will Howard, because then the coaching staff, you draft a Buckeye and put him behind, and if Dimes fails, you put him out there. You got another year at least with Browns fans of leeway with a Buckeye than you do any other quarterback. Browns fans will not want Stefanski or anybody fired unless it's abysmal, and they'd say, well, they're not getting everything out of Howard. It'll be Stefanski's fault. But I think that's the way you go. And the running back, I love the running back out of Iowa. What's his name? Man, you get him. Give me Will Howard and Danny Dimes.
I can't remember.
What? You can't? I don't know. But you're right. We need to run the football.
Wow. When Roger gets going on Ohio State, it's like Reagan to Carter. Here we go again. Here you go again, I should say.
Right. But if I want a Buckeye, that means something.
Yeah.
That's fair. I will give you that.
Tongue in cheek, the way
he's a big kid. Yeah. He's what, 6'4", 200. He's a big kid.
6'4", 236, pure national champion.
He can run the offense that Stefanski wants to run, and we run the football. And I'm all for it. I don't like being a quarterback at the top of the draft. I bookmarked every one of the Orange and Brown fan report guys that wrote about the top quarterbacks and how they're going to be just awesome, because I don't think either one of them are going to be awesome. So I got those all bookmarked and ready to go.
So, Roger, are you willing to put out there that if the Browns draft Will Howard, that you will purchase a Will Howard jersey? Are you going to sign yourself up for that?
Heritage stripes.
I'll wear it if a Bucknut buys it for me. I ain't buying shit. But if a Bucknut buys it, I'll wear it.
All right, Ed, we're going to get him a Ohio
I'll chip in.
Jersey.
Yeah.
No, absolutely. It's got to be a
GoFundMe. Start it now.
You said if a
it's
Buck
got to be a Browns Will Howard shirt.
No, that was
not
never
a Buckeye.
No.
No Kansas State jersey either.
No, that's thanks, James.
Give me the Kansas State. I'll wear the Jayhawk. Jayhawk or Browns.
It's a Wildcat.
It's
a Wildcat.
Oh, okay.
It is an interesting.
Wrong Kansas.
It's an interesting question about, do we go for someone like Kirk Cousins, who I think has played at a very high level for a number of years. I don't know what exactly was going on this year with Atlanta, or do you go for someone that's just maybe in a bad spot that isn't, he's not going to take the NFL over. He's not going to be a sensation, but I definitely think he has talent. And I got to say, I like the option of Daniel Jones. I think they overdrafted him. The pressure was insane. New York is a crazy place to play when you're not getting it done. They gave him all that money, which was ridiculous. He didn't get it done.
Do you think he could be like Baker is in Tampa, kind of?
I don't know that he could ever get to like Baker's level, but I definitely think he would be a great option just to kind of like solidify the roster for a little while until our draft pick is ready.
I agree. I kind of agree with that
We're
one.
way more than a quarterback away. We're way more than a quarterback away, I believe. I think there's holes on offense and line.
Yeah,
I think there's holes at running back. There's a hole at tight end if you want to run the football. And on defense, there's a number of holes on defense. We're more than a quarterback away.
But any team that has a great quarterback, you don't even really notice their holes a lot of the times. So I think as bad as this roster looked this season, once you get a quarterback playing at high level, I don't think it's going to happen this year.
If you get a Baker level play of 2020,
I think this team would be great. Yeah, this would be a playoff team in my opinion.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, all these guys that had mediocre years, disappointing years, I think would have played a little bit above their heads, and whatever. We'll see. We'll find out. But I'm just saying, I know he's not a very popular option, but might be someone
intriguing. I'm intrigued by it.
You can get him a little cheaper. I think the pressure was a little too big for him in New York, and maybe if you get him in Cleveland, you get a different guy. I don't know.
Yeah.
Just want to throw that out there.
You mentioned Kirk Cousins not knowing what happened in Atlanta. It's because he didn't have a lot of the play action game that he had in Minnesota, and that's something why it's intriguing for him to come to Cleveland and get back in Stefanski's offense. So, would I feel better having another backup behind him that's like a Daniel Jones, but also draft somebody? Yeah, but just because of health alone. But
what's Kirk going to cost?
I don't know, man. Do we want to do the same thing?
It's not like he's Kirk Cousins is you're going to get him for like $4 million 1 year, right? Like you're going to have to pay him, I would imagine. Yeah. And is he still a member of the Falcons? So you'd have to trade for him.
They'll cut him. I think they're going to cut him after March.
I think that's what I heard.
You'd get him. Would get him like the Russell Wilson deal with Pittsburgh. You'd have to pay him league minimum. Atlanta would be paying him.
You don't think there's a team out there that
There's two things with Kirk Cousins. Is the guy that I was on the Lyman Lounge, he's a Minnesota fan. He was threatened by Minnesota bringing in the rookie from Michigan. He didn't want no part of helping any young guy. He wants to be the man. And number two, man, I don't want to keep going through like recycling the old guy, like a Garoppolo or a Cousins. Give me Danny Dimes or what's the other one that the Alabama quarterback, the other Jones, Mac Jones. Somebody that maybe I'm just saying that
he's down in Jacksonville, I believe.
Because he was thrown into the fire too soon. I think they come into the NFL, they're not ready. And then they're written off as busts. Where look at Sam Darnold. Who's going to be the next Sam Darnold is the question. Roll the dice, So that might give you a year like that to give you 11 wins. I just think they give up on quarterbacks too soon. And I'd rather try a younger guy than a Kirk Cousins that can't move. He's old. I don't know, man. If you go that way, we're not winning 5 games. If it's Kirk Cousins and
Arch Manning, let's go.
Well, then I'm on board for that. If it's a tank.
Yeah.
All right. Or the kid from Penn State.
The T word. Right?
Yeah, we don't want to. You're only allowed to talk tank when it's like mid-September, Roger. Can't do it.
Mid-September, yeah, like the third game.
Yeah, deep into the regular season.
Right.
They're 1-1, and Roger's talking tank.
Trade.
Dawg Chug season 5 or whatever.
Clearly, the Browns have a lot of ways they can go. I think this offseason is it's awesome this year because no one seems to be talking Browns. We're so under the radar, which is where I want to be. But I think they have a lot of moves. They feel like they're a little bit in the driver's seat. They got the second pick. They've got the ability to create some cap. The whole Deshaun, re-injuring himself seems like it's going to be awesome for us in the long run. So we'll see what they do. I'm excited. It was very, very, very hard to be a Browns fan late December. Suddenly, I'm excited to see what they do. So we'll monitor. But Ed, I think it's time for a little bit action. Why don't you?
That's right. James, you are going to be put under rapid fire, the hottest new segment in Cleveland podcasting. You will have 3 seconds. I just need a yes or no answer until the final 2, I believe, and then you can expound on that. But are you ready to go under rapid fire, James?
Yes, sir. Let's do it.
Glad the Browns season is over.
Yes.
Brown should have fired Stefanski.
No.
Brown should have fired Barry.
Yes.
Browns need to draft a quarterback at 2.
No.
Brown should trade Myles Garrett.
No.
Andy should not renew his Browns season tickets.
No.
The Browns are far away from contending for a Super Bowl.
Yes.
The Cavs will win the title.
No.
The Guardians will win their division.
Yes.
Best high school football stadium.
Gosh. That's I need more than 3 seconds on that one. I mean, right now it's Tom Benson where they play the state championships based on what's available, but not compared to some of the older stadiums. So, but we'll just say Tom Benson for the hell of it.
Best mascot in Northeast Ohio high school football.
Wow.
I know.
Oh.
You can say your alma mater if you want.
I'm just going to pick the Louisville Leopards.
There you go. Public or private?
Public.
Yeah. And we all know Central Ohio has the best football in the state of Ohio. The D1 champs Olentangy Liberty reside in Central Ohio. But who's second?
In your area?
No. Obviously we know Central Ohio. So basically it's either Northeast Ohio or Cincinnati. Who's got the best football?
I mean, I live in Stark County, and
Okay.
Massillon Tigers are a different animal up here or down here. So, well, up here for you.
That's fair.
I've covered some of the games, and I'm telling you, it's one of the best atmospheres for a home game that you can experience in high school football. That they're different level fans in Massillon. I tell anybody that loves high school football, please go take a Massillon home game in. It's something else.
Listen, my very first high
You are
school
off rapid
football
fire.
game- Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry, Ed.
No, go ahead. Go ahead, brother.
My very first high school football game ever was at Massillon Tiger Stadium. And it was a freshman football game. And it was fucking packed. And there was for St. Ed's, we had 20 fucking parents there, maybe. 30 people. This is 1984. But they were crazy for freshman football, man. And that, Massillon, you're right. I lived down
Spielman
in
was on the
Canton,
Wheaties
man.
box back in the day. So,
Massillon's a whole, everything's the Tigers,
Yeah.
auto shop, Tiger, everything's. Yeah,
and they finally won a real title. They weren't paper champs. They won a state title. What was that?
They did. They beat St. Ed's.
Yeah, it was 2 years.
They went on and they went to, man. They
Real champions finally.
Yeah, I had the privilege of covering the state championship, being on the sideline when they won it, and got video of the coach getting dumped by the Gatorade and the players celebrating, and being down there for the last pass breakup to seal the game against Akron Hoban. And
yep.
the roar of the crowd for a high school game for when that play was getting ready to happen, it was just incredible. And it was just to stand there and watch all the families and parents and fans crying in the stands because they finally got that state championship they've been waiting for a long time. It meant more to them than any other school. I'm taking nothing away. I'm taking nothing away from any other school. But what I witnessed there, and I live in Massillon, by the way, but Jackson Township. So covered Jackson Polar Bears, where my kids go to school. And but yeah, the Massillon Tigers, I got nothing but respect for their support of that team. It's incredible. When years ago, I'm talking in the 90s, you should just go on to Google Maps and look at their indoor facility they have for sports. It's right next to Paul Brown Tiger Stadium. That thing's been up since I think mid to late 90s, and it looked like Berea back in the day. I couldn't believe it when they were building it. I'm like, what the hell's that? And it's like, oh, that's for football. I mean, it's for the other sports too, but
yeah.
So, but
it's for football.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
Right.
We all know what pays the bills between high school football and
Ohio
college
State is
football.
synchronized swimming.
You want-
Yeah.
Hey, when I lived
Ooh.
in Canton, I had a girlfriend. She was a school teacher, and she was substitute. And I had to drop her off one day at Massillon High School to substitute, and it was raining. I gave her my golf umbrella, it was a St. Edward umbrella, and she put it out. She had no idea because she was a nerd and she didn't know, St. Edward. When I picked her up at the end of the day, it was all my umbrella was no longer with her, and it didn't go as I planned. They took my umbrella.
Damn. All right. Well, Ed planned a really exciting game that me and Roger are going to get to participate in. So, Ed, why don't you describe the rules? It should be a lot of fun.
Okay, well, we're going to play, since James obviously covers high school athletics, I thought it'd be great if I took some Northeast Ohio schools, and you're going to guess, I got 20 of them, and you're going to guess their mascot. But I want to go to Roger and Andy right now and give the over-under on this. How many out of 20? Because we know James obviously knows the sports. And whoever gets closer, Andy, between you two will be the winner when it comes to this particular game. And James, you're obviously going to be the winner because you're the only one answering. But so I'll go to you. There's 20 of them. Andy, how many do you think he's going to get right out of 20?
I think he'll get 18 right.
18 right. What do you say, Roger? Andy's
Wow. I appreciate your confidence.
What? He corrected me on the mascot I had wrong earlier. Well, you did too, Ed. But and at that time, I'm thinking he's going to kill this thing. But what's the under?
Well, we kind of changed it up. Just get who's ever closest, and it's not Price is Right rules. You can't say one and win.
Well, we got to come up with an over/under that we both agree on.
I'm going to say 15. I'm going to say 14 if he says 18.
Fine. I'll say over. I'll do 15 or over. You got 14 or under.
Wow.
Fair?
All right. There we go.
All right.
Yeah, I don't know that I'm Ken Carmen level here.
Whoever got closest to it, but whatever, that's fine.
No. Whoever wins whoever loses has to chug a beer next week. I'll get a Long Island iced tea if I lose. How about that?
All right. You ready, James?
Yeah, let's go for it.
All right, let's just do it. All right,
hey,
Aurora.
If I lose, I'll spill another Washington apple all over the floor.
Nice.
Midshipman?
The Aurora Green Men.
Damn it.
Oh, I knew that one. That's like my neighbor. All right.
Some of them are pretty easy. Bay.
Rockets?
Yeah, the Bay Rockets. Yep.
Yes.
North Olmsted. This is where I lived when I lived in Cleveland.
Eagles?
Eagles of North Olmsted, absolutely correct.
Yes.
The Barberton.
Magics?
That's right.
Yes.
The Beechwood.
Malls? No.
That's funny. I know.
Yeah. Beechwood Mall.
I can't remember them.
Right. Well, we'll circle back. We'll circle back. Cuyahoga Falls.
Noir Tigers.
Yes, that's correct. Yes. Elyria Catholic.
Ooh,
it's a tough one.
I know.
Oh man!
Okay, here's what I'll do.
Fighting nuns. I can't remember.
All right, this one. Okay, if you get this one right, I'll give you credit for this one since it's the same one. Euclid.
Panthers.
That's right. So there you go. Elyria Catholic Panthers as well.
Come on, I bet the under. Come on.
Shut up, Roger.
Yeah, shut up, Roger. New Philadelphia.
Quakers.
Yep. The John Marshall, which my dad went to.
My mom is actually a graduate of there. The Lawyers.
The Lawyers of John Marshall. That's right.
Yep.
Shaker Heights.
Jeez.
Ooh, I know this one. James.
I have not watched enough Friday Night Touchdown on that one. No.
Ken Corman's man.
Sorry, Ken.
Strongsville.
Mustangs.
Right.
Come on.
Valley View.
No. Valley View, Tall Bridges. Yeah, I'm not sure.
The Spartans of Valley View. The Bedford.
Can picture him. He looks like the Spartan, I think.
Yeah, that's funny.
No.
The Bearcats of Bedford. Okay, maybe you'll get this one. Rocky River.
Pirates.
That's right, the Pirates. Brunswick.
Blue Devils.
Right. Cleveland Central Catholic.
Ooh, I know this. We played CYO basketball in their gym.
Isn't that where Earl Boykins went?
Cleveland Central. I think he did, yeah.
Yep, yeah, he did.
I can't remember though. No, I can't. I don't have that one.
The Iron Man.
Yeah. The Fairview or Fairview Park, or I guess whatever.
Damn it. I mean, I was born in Fairview Park. I can't even remember. I was still on the teat back then. Right? That was a long time ago. No, I don't have that one.
All right, that's the Warriors of Fairview. Glen Oak.
That's right, Warriors.
Eagles. Golden Eagles.
Golden Eagles, that is correct.
Yeah.
And the last one, because they are the D1 state champions in my neck of the woods, the Olentangy Liberty.
I think it's the Patriots.
It is the Patriots of Olentangy Liberty. All right, let's.
Yep, because one of my classmates' kids was on that team, who won the state championship.
I'll circle back to this one. You got 3 seconds to answer. Beechwood, and they're not the malls.
God damn, I got nothing.
All right, well, it's the
Wildcats. Okay, yeah, I wouldn't have got that.
Right, so we got 1, 2,
Yeah, it was
3,
13,
4,
14.
5, 6, 7 wrong. So that's 13.
13. What about bonus one? You get 2 points for this. The Kenston.
Oh.
Think about ships going.
Bombers.
Yes, he got
There
it.
it is.
Oh my God.
At first, I was going to go parachuters, but until you made the blow up explosion noise.
I'll give you my alma mater if you can get this one. Grove City. Yeah, fine.
Nope. I've been to the Grove City in Pennsylvania more often.
Oh, okay, the Greyhounds.
Well,
Greyhounds.
Nice.
you did well in that game, but if we ever play, what's that game where you have to act things out? And
Oh, charades.
if you ever play charades, you're my partner because you did awesome.
Bombers, right?
Yes. Yeah.
Roger would have never gotten that. Anyway,
So who owes a drink then?
I owe Long Island iced tea to start the show next week.
I don't think you're too upset about that either.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
And that was my whole plan. That's why.
Right there you go. Right.
You know, I had the perfect window to make him drink Washington apples, and I let it slide by me and let him pick his own drink.
That's
God
what happens
damn
when you
it.
get drunk, dumbass.
Yeah, but see, I get drunk, and that's what happens. I miss my cue.
All right, Roger, it's late in the show. Are you going to chug another one? Not another
I
Washington.
don't have another one. I got to buy more.
No, do you want to chug another beer?
Oh, another beer?
You're not
Yeah,
working.
I just opened one.
Is there anything
opened one.
that's been making you angry? Why don't you talk the Roger anger segment of the week, where you let out whatever's pissing you off about the Cleveland fandom, and we'll listen to you.
Right now, you know what? Nothing's got me pissed off about the Cleveland fandom, but it does. I am pissed off about the whole cheating scandal. All right. Number one, we're talking about a rule that was put into place because there were some schools that couldn't afford to travel for scouts. There were schools that couldn't afford to travel to pay for scouts to go ahead and do.
There we go.
Wow.
Well done. All right,
Roger, he made me do it. He made me do it.
Welcome to Around the Horn.
And then you got, if you're putting signs up and you think somebody might be stealing them, let's change our signs every week. Let's try that up. Let's see if we can do that. You know what? Because everybody does it. But the fact is, last year, Michigan played under a microscope and they went 15-0. They went 15-0 on top of being accused of cheating, on top of being accused of everything. They lost their head coach for games. Their head coach wasn't even there when we beat Ohio State. Nothing could take the national championship away from the University of Michigan last year.
All
If
right.
you want to call it cheating, something that was made illegal because money was involved, that's fine. Call it cheating. I go to baseball games all my life, and you try to steal signs. All my life being a player, signs weren't in football 30 years ago when they made this rule. They didn't have signs. They called plays and huddles, and players were sent in from the sideline. They had guards. Listen, in football, you had guards you had 3 guards that were your starting guards, and they ran the play into the huddle, and they told the play. There was no sign stealing. You know why? Because people weren't fucking retarded back then, and they could remember a play, and they didn't need a picture of SpongeBob on the sideline to remember the fucking count. All right? So I don't want to hear about sign stealing, because if you're dumb enough not to change your fucking signs, that's your own goddamn fault.
Whoa.
Is that enough, Andy?
James.
Yeah,
I got a question there, Roger. Roger, Jamie from Believe Land Media. My question for you is, I know you're a Michigan fan, but could you tell me when you became a Michigan fan?
I became a Michigan fan in 1976 when my cousin left St. Ignatius. He's a defensive back. He graduated from Ignatius, and he went to the University of Michigan to play for Bo. Neil Ginley. Then my cousin Bill Salem played hockey at the University of Michigan. And back then, 1976, 1977, 7, 8 years old, and nobody was on TV back then. You know what I mean? So it was a big deal on January 1st, 1978, when Neil was a freshman, and he got in a couple plays of the Rose Bowl. You know, so that's when I became a Michigan fan. I've been one ever since, man. They taught me how to play football. They taught me how to swim. They lived in Brook Park on Agnes Boulevard, man. And they were like my heroes growing up. And that's when I became a fan of Michigan University.
Now he just steals signs.
Did they teach you how to lose an entire audience in 5 minutes?
Actually, Andy, our numbers actually went up.
Bucknut taught me that.
All right.
Gained 2 people, Andy. We actually gained 2 people in that rant.
Well, it only shows how many people they tuned in.
They might be lost and they clicked the wrong thing. Yeah.
Anyway.
They don't want to hear the truth.
All right, Roger. You just settle down over there, okay? You know your room.
You started. You made me open another beer.
I was hoping
you were all riled up.
Orange or something funny. That was horrible.
They gave the same trophy to the Buckeyes that they gave to Michigan. I'm just saying, it's the same trophy.
Yeah.
You could have talked about
Too bad it wasn't like the Stanley Cup.
If you had gone on a 5-minute rant about how we should respect Patrick Mahomes, it would have been less worse than what that was.
You're a Bucknut now too, so of course you didn't like it.
No, I didn't like it because
you want me to go on a rant about Pete Smith fucking telling me that Andrew Berry is doing a great job? Because I can go on for 15, 25 minutes.
Yeah, well, I mean, I'm intrigued now, Andy.
Jeff Lloyd decided to crawl out from underneath his fucking rock and put his 2 cents into it. And I got Pete Smith telling me that Andrew Berry is
hello.
That DeAndre Foreman
I'm calling off work for tomorrow. It's going to be late tonight. I look forward to seeing everybody Friday. All right. Thanks. Bye.
Awesome. All right. Sorry. Sometimes we get carried away, but this has been an excellent show.
Way to end the show, though. Way to end it. That was good.
All right, I'm done.
Thank you, Roger. That was awesome. Fuck you, Pete Smith. Although
Pete Smith, Jeff Lloyd.
I love Jeff Lloyd and Pete Smith, but Roger doesn't. So I have your back, Roger. Even though you're wrong on this one.
Fanboy fluff bullshit.
It's always good when Roger gets drunk. Yep. This has been such a fun show. James, was so great having you come on and meeting you and hearing all about your endeavors. Everyone go check out Believe. No, what was the podcast called? Remind us.
The Land Sports Show. As far as Believe Land Media goes, anybody that's interested in covering high school sports in the area, please reach out to look on X for Kevin Sleds or myself. Send us a direct message if you'd be interested in covering games for football this coming fall, and also looking for sponsorship as well. So if you're in the Northeast Ohio area and really love your school, want to support your school and support the student athletes that are involved for their communities, get a hold of us, and we'd like to maybe add you to our team.
Nice. Everyone, please go do that. When is the pod? Is it going to start winding back up?
I'm not sure yet. We're looking more towards once the Guardians start ramping up, getting back involved. So
that makes sense. There's nothing to talk about right now. It's horrible. You got to do it.
Yeah, man. Look what we had to go through tonight.
Yeah.
It's dead.
But this was fun. I had fun. It was a pleasure meeting you. And
awesome.
I always love when we just get like
awesome.
Just a good dude that like loves his Cleveland teams and can talk about them intelligently, and
wants to win this year instead of like 5 years from now.
Yeah.
Yes,
it was great. So please come back on the Dawg Chug.
Let's win now.
We can.
No, I appreciate it, guys. I've had a great time. It's always a good show. Always stay tuned to you guys and keep up the good work. I know from trying to produce a solid live show, there's a lot of behind the scenes work that goes on, and so I give you guys credit for the work that's put into it. So
what are we going on for? Season 4?
I think we're coming up to season 4. Yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah.
It's a pleasure, everyone. Thanks for the hard work, and go Browns, go Cavs, go Guardians. They're bringing beer soon, and drink if you got 'em.
And the Monsters, apparently.
that's correct.